Multnomah County Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Megan Moyer is excused. Audience members, I want to start by asking you to please silence your electronic devices. I would also like to remind you that in addition to the audience in this room, we have people watching and listening online, so please consider your language in comments and testimony today. Today's meeting is a hybrid board meeting. Some presenters and guests will appear in person, and some will appear virtually. For those presenting virtually, please mute your mic when not speaking, and when presenting, make sure to unmute your mic and turn on your camera. For those joining us in person to provide public testimony or to present, please turn your mic on when you begin speaking so that the green light is showing on the mic, and off when you've completed your remarks so the red light is showing. For all presenters, please state your name for the record before speaking or responding to questions. May I have a motion on the consent calendar?
Move. Second.
Commissioner Jones-Dickson moves. Commissioner Brim Edwards seconds. Approval of the consent calendar. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right. Thank you. The consent calendar is approved.
Opportunity for public comment on non-agenda matters. This is a time for the board to hear public testimony, not for board deliberation. When it is your turn to speak, I will call your name and unmute you or call you to the presenters table. I will set a timer for 3 minutes when you begin speaking and announce when your time is up, at which point please wrap up your sentence. We had 7 people sign up for verbal testimony and received 2 written testimonies which were shared with board members and staff. I'm going to start with virtual testimony. Rosa, you can unmute and begin.
Hi, my name is Rosa Garcia, and I am, and that's Rosa, R-O-S-A, Garcia, G-A-R-C-I-A. I am both an employee of Multnomah County, and I also live here in Multnomah County as well. And I am here by my own volition. I am here to appeal to the board and the chair, as well as to keep this on the public record. And my main concern is basically that there are a lot of changes happening right now internally that a lot of different employees are being affected by. Over the last 7 months, we've had a new COO. The CHRO went on leave. And we have had a loss of key leaders in the organization and a reorganization of human resources. Plus, a lot of external chaos and fear in our communities that is being placed upon by the federal administration. Not only are we facing a constraint year, but a lot of the stuff that is happening right now, they don't even know what's happening. And these last 2 weeks, we've also learned that although the contract administration rollout has not had the chance to yield results, the COO is moving to centralize finance and business services. This decision is being made knowing that the majority of staff that are in the finance and business services are represented, and an active labor agreement is still pending. We have not had cost of living adjustment done. It's been months in the work. We're going on 6 months with that still pending. And this centralization of finance and business is being sold as not being about cutting positions. However, in the message that we received, it is about budgetary measures, which leads me to believe that there will be positions possibly being cut. And currently, budgets throughout the department are being worked on without knowing the proposal from the COO. And no plan has been made on how exactly this will work. Staff will be moved, shuffled around, and could lose their jobs, and this is a decision that was made without a concrete plan. Over the last 4.5 years that I have worked here at Multnomah County, I have seen this over and over again. And I'm here because I want to ask the board to please ask for a plan before decisions are made, decisions that are going to affect so many staff, so many represented staff, and staff that are not just part of our internal ecosystem, but of our community at large that are also experiencing a lot of changes due to the governmental environment that we're in right now. This change will also affect our community partners. It could delay payments to the community partners that we have, and it will create more waste. I ask that leadership first familiarize with processes and makes educated decisions instead of theoretical ones that will not only hurt internal community members, but also the community at large. Other options that we really could be looking at are better communication between leadership and also staff with the different departments that we have, and also check-ins with the staff if leadership has questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll move to in-person testimony. We have Andy Frey. Jean Bishop, Liz Holland, Troy Pebble, and Molly Hogan.
Morning.
Morning. Morning, Chair, Commissioners, and members of the community. Thank you for giving me the time and space to speak today. My name is Andy Fry, and I stand before you as a community Multnomah County resident and someone living with HIV, and as someone who owes my life to the very systems of care we are here to defend. World AIDS Day is more than a date on a calendar. It is a reminder to honor the 40 million people we've lost worldwide, to celebrate the progress that once felt impossible, and to recommit ourselves to a future where no one dies of a preventable disease, no one is denied treatment, and no one living with HIV has to fear stigma, isolation, or abandonment by their government. But this year feels different. Many of us living with HIV are worried, deeply worried, by the signals coming from the federal level. Rhetoric dismissing the importance of World AIDS Day and proposals for steep reductions to HIV prevention, treatment, housing, and research programs. For some, this is a policy discussion. For me and for thousands in our county, this is existential. When I received my diagnosis, I thought my life was over. What saved me was a network of support that Multnomah County helped build. The clinics that put me on treatment, the case managers who made sure I wasn't choosing between medication and rent, the public health workers who treated me with dignity and time I didn't feel I deserved. This county didn't just help me survive, it gave me back a life worth living. Cuts to HIV programs aren't abstract numbers. They mean fewer people getting tested, fewer people connecting to care, fewer people staying virally suppressed. They mean more transmissions, more emergencies, more funerals. They mean reversing decades of progress purchased with unimaginable loss. And the symbolic impact, canceling recognition of World AIDS Day, diminishing its importance also matters. It tells people like me that our lives, our history, and our ongoing fight are inconvenient, that we are meant to quietly disappear. But we will not disappear. We need local leadership now more than ever. Multnomah County has always been a place where public health is centered, where evidence rises above politics, where compassion guides policy. I'm asking you, pleading with you, to continue that legacy, continue funding the programs that keep people like me alive, strengthen the safety nets that catch those who fall through federal gaps, protect harm reduction efforts, support housing for people living with HIV, expand testing, prevention, and equitable access to care, and continue the recognition of World AIDS Day, not as a tradition, but as a commitment. We cannot control what happens at the federal level, but we can choose who we are here in Multnomah County. We can choose to say, we remember, we see you, your life matters, and we will not go backwards. As someone living with HIV, I'm grateful to be alive today. I'm grateful to my providers, my community, and this county. And I'm here because of public health decisions made decades ago, decisions you continue to steward. Please continue to stand with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Molly Hogan.
Just hit the button on the, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Justice, do you want to come up too? Hello, good morning. My name is Molly Hogan, for the record, and I'm with the Welcome Home Coalition. We are an alliance of organizations and individuals building a housing justice movement in the Portland metro area, fighting for a region where everyone, no matter their income, has access to a safe and stable home. And we're here today. I'm joined by colleagues. Really quick, can you go around and say they represent Welcome Home and this petition we're here to deliver today?
Good morning, Chair and Board. My name is Sahan McKelvey, a member of the Welcome Home Steering Committee and Director of Advocacy and Engagement at SCI Self Enhancement, Inc.
Justice Raji, Director of Advocacy and Civic Engagement at the Urban League of Portland, and also a member of the coalition.
Crystal Magana, I'm on the Multnomah County SHS Oversight Committee, and I'm also a Welcome Home Steering Committee member.
Cameron Foster. I'm a member of the Welcome Home Steering Committee and a director of programs at Join, a nonprofit serving our houseless population.
And we are delivering you a petition today that is from a report we released last month called Finding Home, Lasting Housing Solutions Rooted in Community Expertise. We talked to over 600 people who have experienced homelessness in the Portland metro area, and we asked what they need, what is getting in their way of finding a stable and safe home. And the bottom line is the rent is too dang high. People either need money to help pay for the rent or they need cheaper rent. They also need supportive people in their lives, either to help them find jobs, workforce development, or to just stabilize in the transition and connect with the healthcare resources they need. So the 3 demands from the petition, we delivered it to City Hall yesterday, but it is to fund eviction prevention, to fund rent assistance and peer support and case management positions to create pathways out of existing shelter. Like, let's stop expanding the shelter supply and just make pathways out. And also to use public money to acquire underutilized buildings and apartment buildings and hotels and convert them to that deep affordability we need. With the federal government newly mandating that COC money cannot be spent on permanent housing solutions, we really, really urge local leaders to make sure you're funding our emergency system with federal dollars. Like that system, 100% federal dollars, use our local money for long-term housing solutions. And so if you'll allow us, we'd like to bring you these petitions signed by over 2,000 constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Next, we have injured and pissed off.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name's Injured and Pissed Off, and I spoke yesterday, just as I had spoken November 20th here, I believe it was, that I was speaking about a wheelchair-bound individual at the Northrop shelter where I was staying, and he wasn't even able to get out of his wheelchair, and I had said that yesterday too, but I failed to explain he wasn't Caucasian. I wouldn't be able to recognize him other than just he was in a wheelchair, and of course, you know, the time and the date. I'd seen him a few days there, I don't know how many exactly, but he wasn't ever able to get into a bed. He had spinal cord injuries, apparently. And yesterday I was talking at City Hall too. The reason why I'm saying things like that about that man, that seems like discrimination, where he isn't even able to lay in a bed. Of course, he was better off being indoors where it wasn't raining and not too terribly cold. And I wanted to talk about blindness discrimination. I'm signed up. You can look up the articles on Google. And I talked about, as I said here, it was Willamette Week Uninvited Guest was the article, and that was written in 2006. Calling my dog a guide dog, and it wasn't. It was a service animal, a real service animal. Oregon law has assistance animal, and his predecessor was, and of course there's processes to go through to qualify for an assistance animal, and then I just simply called the United States Department of Justice and explained to them that it took a couple of months, and contacting a legislator, and he had to bring it up to a subcommittee, and they found out that we were eligible, I and another blind guy in Pendleton, Oregon at the time. And I explained that to the United States Department of Justice, and they said, well, it would be a service animal. And the Pendleton police was informed of that later. Thank you.
Thank you.
And last up, we have Lightning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Lightning. I represent Lightning Super No Justice, No Peace Lab. Now, getting back to the Lightning Super body-worn camera program that'll be implemented on the Sheriff's Department, again, I want to have a clear understanding that should have already been rolled out at its full capacity as of this time. Again, you are not keeping the public updated. It is not the responsibility of the Sheriff's Department to do that. It is your responsibility as the chair and the commissioners who fund the Sheriff's Department, who have the option to either elect the sheriff or we can change that to appoint the sheriff, to where then you have full control of the Sheriff's Department and the jails and everything they do, which I have proposed to have done, which has been done in numerous other counties and other states. So again, I want to see that rolled out. I want to have the public very well informed on that. I want to have the public input on the body-worn camera policy. And again, I want to have a funding mechanism in place to fund that every year. One suggestion I may make is on that supportive housing services. I think the body-worn camera video and audio is one of the most important things to the homeless community. And that is a service to the homeless community to have their cases dismissed, to have everything analyzed, to protect their safety is number one. So again, I am proposing that you use the funding mechanism from the supportive housing services money to fund the body-worn camera program. Again, what I want to do is work with certain universities such as Lewis and Clark. I want to have a body-worn camera, pretty much a law center created to where they are analyzing the video over certain cases, things that happen through the communities, and advising the community members on what they may do. And then I want to have other universities participating so we have a constant oversight from universities of the body-worn camera, video and audio on the interaction between law enforcement and community members for their safety. Again, used for educational purposes, training purposes, and also to have the civil rights attorneys online overseeing anything that happens between the community members and law enforcement pertaining to the body-worn camera program, which Lightning Super body-worn camera program will be implemented one way or the other. If you can't get the job done, I will go to the governor. From there, we will go to the DOJ, but it will be implemented. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's all for public testimony. So I'm going to move on to R1. Budget modification number MCLD-001-26, recognizing additional grant revenue from the Library Foundation and Friends of the Library.
May I have a motion? All right, Commissioner Singleton moves, Commissioner Jones-Dixon seconds, approval of R1. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Katie Shifley. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the library's Finance and Facilities Director. We have two related budget modifications today. The purpose of the first budget modification is to recognize grant revenue in the district that comes from the Library Foundation and the Friends of the Library, totaling $122,923, and then transfer those resources to the Library Department and the county budget. The second budget modification that we'll hear in just a moment will recognize that revenue in the Library Department and then budget those resources programmatically. The funding from the Library Foundation is $81,008 and supports the Everybody Reads program. Everybody Reads is the library's One City, One Book community reading project. The goals of the project are to support reading and civic engagement by encouraging discussion about issues that matter and to celebrate the power of books to create a strong community. The Everybody Reads 2026 selection is Lovely One by Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. The library will work with local organizations to present cultural programs, guided discussions, distribute 8,000 free copies of the book, as well as provide supporting curriculum materials to local schools. The culminating author event is going to be held in March of 2026. The funding from the Friends of the Library is $41,915 and is being provided to support the purchase of an industrial paper cutter. The paper cutter is a critical piece of equipment in the library's print shop operations. It handles the trimming and finishing of printed materials. This past June, the previous piece of equipment, which was about 20 years old, stopped working, and ultimately the estimated cost to repair it was more than the cost to replace it. This piece of equipment processes almost every single job that comes into the print shop in support of the library's events, programs, outreach materials, from summer reading to flyers for our various events. We are incredibly grateful to our partners for their continued support of the library and happy to answer any questions you have on these.
Thank you so much, Katie. Did we have any public testimony on this item, Tasia?
Yes, we have one person signed up.
Okay, we'll bring you right back. Thank you, Katie.
Lightning.
Yes, my name is Lightning. I represent Lightning Super No Justice, No Peace Lab. Again, as you know, I'm a big fan of the libraries. So of course I approve any additional money or budget modifications. So I 100% approve of any. One of the things I wanted to have a clear understanding is a little bit more on the Library Foundation itself and the members, how that really functions. Do people just donate from the public into it? Again, the reason why I'm saying this, we've just approved a print shop paper cutter, which is utilized for various things to notify the public. But have you really focused on that foundation, on really getting that word out on how that works and getting the donations coming in? And one of the areas I really want to have focused on is my good friends out of Silicon Valley and the big tech, and my friend Lip-Bu Tan from Intel and Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. Now, you all know, let's be real here, you have your trillion-dollar companies, billion-dollar companies. You all know you've used a tremendous amount of money or a tremendous amount of data from the libraries. And I'm asking you just to be generous. Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, and congratulations on your company now, $5 trillion. I want to see a very large donation to the Portland Library Foundation. And I also want you to be members. I want to see your names up on the plaques. And to big tech, take care of the libraries. They've taken care of you. That's why you're where you're at right now. That's why your super AI is leading in the United States. Never forget that. Data is everything to you. Data centers, super AI, give back to the libraries. Again, I work out of the Central Library. I'm asking for some very big donations from big tech. Very big donations. And never forget why you're trillion-dollar companies and billion-dollar companies and where you're at right now. The library did participate in that. Data is everything. I appreciate your donations. Thank you so much, big tech.
Thank you. All right, Katie, if you wouldn't mind coming back up, we'll go to the board with any questions. We'll start with Commissioner Jones-Dickson.
Okay, thank you, Chair, and thank you, Katie, for the presentation. Appreciate the fact that we have the resources, supportive of where the resources are going, and looking forward to Justice Ketanji Jackson being here in 2026. So thank you again. Very simple.
Yes, I've got it on my calendar. Commissioner Brim Edwards.
No questions. I'm supportive. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from Commissioner Singleton?
No questions. Just second exactly what D4 said. I'm excited to
to actually come see her and hear her speak. So great choices. And I do just want to also say, I guess, that last year's Solito was also a very powerful read, and those who haven't read it should go back and do so, because that was also a great pick. So nice work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think there are always incredible picks for the Everybody Reads program, and I think it's just one of the amazing ways that we're bringing our community together and having the libraries be the means to do that. So excited for to have Justice and coming in this April. I don't have any questions either, but this is great. Tasha, can we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Brim Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones-Dixon?
Yes.
Chair Vega Peterson?
Yes, the budget modification is approved.
R2, budget modification number LIB-005-26, increasing transfer from Library District to recognize grants from Library Foundation and Friends of the Library.
May I have a motion? Okay, Commissioner Jones-Dixon moves, Commissioner Brim Edwards seconds, approval of R2. Hello.
Hi, again, Katie Shifley, she, her pronouns, Director of Finance and Facilities for the library. So as I mentioned, this modification will recognize that 122,923 in funds transferred from the library district for the Everybody Reads grant from the Library Foundation and the grant from the Friends of the Library for the print shop cutter. The resources are budgeted programmatically in the Events and Reader Services program offer and in our Marketing and Communications program offer, respectively. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Any public testimony on this item?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Tasha. Any questions on this item? Okay, I don't have any either, but again, we're really glad to see these. And I just want to give a thank you to the Library Foundation for all the work that they do to support the work that we do in our library, making experiences like Everybody Reads accessible, but also the work that they do to really develop the young readers in our community and the investments that they have done for that. So thank you. Tasha, can we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Brim Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones-Dixon?
Yes.
Chair Vega Peterson?
Yes, the budget modification is approved. Thank you, Katie. All right, that was it. It's short and sweet today. Now we have time for board comments on non-agenda items, and just open it up to commissioners to see if anyone has something to share today. Commissioner Singleton.
Every time. So I just wanted to highlight, as I'm wont to do, some of the new things coming out of this authoritarian regime at the federal level. And they recently announced that they will be eliminating work visas for a number of countries, eliminating automatic renewal for a number of visas that are pending, and temporary protection status for a number of countries. They will no longer be eligible for SNAP benefits, includes a number of legal immigrants, refugees, asylees, humanitarian parolees, and immigrants who had been granted conditional entry and more. My staff this week have been made aware of at least just 35 cases in just the Ukrainian community of families who have lost their work visa status and are facing the hard choice of either breaking the law or losing a chance to gain legal status for 10 years or becoming homeless or starving or worse. These are not what families should have to choose between when they came here legally to work. With these new actions, we're going to run into a crisis where more and more immigrant and refugee families who will become undocumented, and this is frankly unacceptable. I'm very proud of the work that we're doing with the chair's office around sanctuary status, and I look forward to moving some investments. I know there's been some asks around higher communication out of the county that I read in the situation report last night. I think there's a lot of things that we can do, knowing that we can't change the federal law. I think it's really critical that we find ways to support these communities that continue, more and more of them continue to be impacted. So I just wanted to highlight that for you all today and just say I'm really hopeful that we can provide some additional safety net support to those who are being impacted. And then lastly, I will just say I had shared last week a press release about the deflection program and some needed reforms. I know we have Commissioner Brim Edwards and I had put together some work for a deflection program work session that I look forward to talking more about with you all. I think it's really critical that we make some improvements there and help people see that this is a path to recovery for folks. So looking forward to that conversation with you all next week.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments for today? Okay, I just have a couple things. One, I just wanted to share that later this morning, Metro is going to be having a first reading of an ordinance to change the governance of the Supportive Housing Services Program. I hope to get over there, but either I or my staff will provide testimony on that. And I just wanted the board to be aware, I think that there is some really needed changes that I support, but there are also pieces of this that I have concerns about. And a couple of these have to do with the balance, I think, between county representation and other parts who are sitting on the advisory body. One of the things that I think is really helpful is condensing from two different governing and oversight bodies to just one, and I think that's going to help streamline some of the bureaucracy and lead to better discussion. But I do think that as the counties are responsible for the implementation of the measure, and we're really doing and supporting some of that frontline work that is happening, like making sure that the work that we are doing and the role that we have is represented well in that bodies is going to be important. So right now, one of the things that I have concerns about is the balance between county representation and city representation. For Multnomah County specifically, there's one county appointee in 2 cities. Overall, the number of city appointees would be more than all of the county committees as well. I had a check-in yesterday with the other chairs of Washington and Clackamas counties, and they share some of these concerns as well as some of their board members. And I know Washington County is having a discussion about this next Tuesday. So this is the first reading of the ordinance. They will have a second reading to approve the ordinance coming up in the future. But I just wanted to raise the awareness, and I know Commissioner Singleton had sent out some communication about this as well, but just I think that this is something that we need to consider what our voice is going to be on that, and how we as a board can make sure that Metro is aware of this as this moves forward. I also wanted to highlight an event that is coming up next week. So I was sad to miss the proclamation ceremony yesterday. I had a conflict, but I want to thank Commissioner Brim Edwards for running that meeting. We are having a bridge lighting vigil event next Tuesday, starting at 4:30 p.m. at the Salmon Street Springs on the waterfront. And I would like to invite everyone to that. We have a great lineup of speakers from different communities and elected officials as well, including Commissioner Moyer, State Representative Willie Chosen, and Portland City Councilor Samir Kanal. So please come. This is as a way to have a vigil for the Genocide Victims Remembrance Day, to coincide with the proclamation that was passed yesterday. So that is my updates. I appreciate everyone. Good work and working together as we move through some really unsettling federal times. So thank you again, Commissioner Singleton, for raising that up. That concludes today's board meeting. There being no further business, we are adjourned.